As a baby girl and as a soft life girl, this is how I make my jollof stress-free and convenient. Instead of the traditional way of cooking jollof on stove or on fire, I choose to use the oven to make mine. All you need is a baking pan and your ready-made jollof stew base and your rice, and voila. I don't know about you, but growing up, I did not like watching that saying. Anytime my mom cooks jollof, you always have to scrap and scrape that saying, and it was not something I liked doing. So when I grew up, I was like, no, I need to enjoy life as it is. So I chose this option, and I'm never going back to that saying, never. My jollof stew base is one of a kind. When I'm making it, I do not add spices. I leave it as bland as possible. So when I'm due to make my jollof, I add the spices to taste. I make it that way because I sometimes get visitors that do not like spicy jollof like Ghanaians do. So just to keep everyone in the loop, I leave it bland, and then when it's time to make my jollof, I add my spices to taste. You can choose to go in with all your spices already made and just zoom in with your rice when you're ready to make your jollof, but I chose to go that way. Unlike the traditional way of making jollof on fire with a saucepan, you don't need a lot of water with the oven because it's going to steam at the end. The steam is going to cook your rice, so you just need enough water that can cook your rice. And two, it depends on the type of rice you use. But the type of rice I use, I go by 2 to 1.5. So 2 cups of rice to 1.5 cup of water, and then voila, I get it in my oven. I use a cling film, but if you have a Dutch oven that has a cover, you don't need a cling film to do that. You can bake this at 180 degrees for at least 20. Make sure that your oven is preheated before you drop in your pound of jollof rice. After 25 minutes, I advise you take it out to check if it's cooking evenly. If it's not, you can sprinkle some amount of water just so it can cook evenly. Leave it back in the oven for some 20 more minutes to cook before you add your veggies if you do have veggies to add. This will be the best time to add all the veggies of choice, your goat meat, your chicken, any protein you intend to add, you can do that now, and then leave it in the oven to cook for 20 more minutes. I'm going to be having my jollof with tilapia and salad. So whilst my jollof is cooking, I'm going to prep my tilapia to be grilled in my air fryer. Yeah, so I have this homemade grilling sauce that I made. I make it to my taste. I use it to grill my fish, my chicken, meat, anything. I even use it for my kebabs. So you can try to make it at home if you can, rather than buying the already made ones in the store. If there's any appliance in my household that can scream for help, it will be my air fryer, because I use it for everything from baking to grilling to frying. I use it for whatever that I do not want to use my oven for, because sometimes you just want a small portion and you don't want to use the oven. So you can use it for your fish, your meat, your chicken, your coffee brook. Man, now that our jollof is ready, see how